Welcome to Oma's Vlog, where we talk about family, friends, and everyday lifestyle along with religion. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Welcome to Oma's Family and Friends Vlog. Today is November the 7th, and I'll be asking my church members a few questions about the hurricane and their thoughts about it. So stay tuned. So, Stephen, as we have seen, we had just been affected by a Category 5 hurricane, which is Melissa. How do you feel, or how has it affected you as a youngster to see what has happened to those in the western part of the island, especially those in St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland and so forth?
Okay, so for me, I was on the outskirts of the hurricane basically. However, I was in Clarendon, closer to the border of St. Catherine. However, it barely affected us in a sense. There was mostly rain and breeze. We lost a few trees in my yard, but other than that, we lost nothing else. But as it relates to the people in the western and southern parts of the island, it was you don't really get to understand what they're going through until like you'd actually be there. So based on that, because you hear it and you see clips of it, but going there is when you realize what had happened. Because as you know earlier, it was supposed to pass through that side, however it shifted. And when you see the mass devastation, yeah, wicked. But as a youth, for me, as I said, it didn't really affect us specifically. So for me, um, it hasn't impacted me a lot. School will be starting Monday and things. So it's just that how I feel, I don't know how to explain it because it didn't happen to me in particular. But like when you see the destruction that it caused for other people, like, yeah, it's just you just look, but you cannot like explain it because you can't feel what them feel. So basically,
Some persons say that the church should have been closed after the hurricane has passed and be out there helping others. How do you feel about that notion?
that notion that is not supposed to even be an argument. That is a fact. That should be happening. So I believe that yes, as people of the community, whether where you are, as long as there are people that are suffering or they're in need, as a church, which one of our main goals, that should be what we should do. Understood? So I believe that yes, church people should be out there helping them. And as relates to church being closed, as you know, the church is not a building. It's where people gather together in praising the Lord. So I don't see that as nothing. So I would believe that as long as we are out there helping them with the words of encouragement, even if it's not physical things that we can give them, the church should be out there helping them to recover.
Right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, Sister Pinnock, how you feel about persons saying that the church should have been closed last week and we going out there to help those who were affected by Hurricane Melissa?
Well, for me, not really all the church should be closed, but most people should be out there. Because, as a Christian, as an Adventist, we are supposed to be out there helping. But instead of being inside the church, most of us should be out there. But at the same time, we cannot just go out there like that. It has to be a planned thing, a planned operation for us to go.
So, were you affected by the hurricane in any way?
Not really, just two, three blood and praise the Lord.
So, how do you feel about those in the western part of the island that were affected?
Boy, I feel it through my bone. Tell you the truth, I'm glad it did not lick St. Catherine because I know every house will be flat, including mine. But I'm really, really sorry for them. And I pray to God that they can overcome it. Jamaica on a whole can overcome it.
Thank you very much. So, we have here Elder Foreman, and Elder Foreman has been in the disaster zone that is in St. Elizabeth, right?
St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland.
And Westmoreland. So you have seen firsthand what the disaster has done to those living there. What is your experience and how do you feel about it?
All right. It was shocking. I went to Saint and close to Trelawney the week before, and I thought down there was bad. And but when we were heading down to Saint, we went to Little London, say Little London, Westmoreland. That's where we went. We do solar installation, so we went to put up a system and correct some other, put back some panels that blew off. And when you pass through, when you reach Santa Cruz, that's where you really start to see the destruction. Santa Cruz was covered, covered in mud. And after leaving Santa Cruz, approaching La Covia, that's where you start to see the roofs torn down, blown off. You start to see a lot of zinc all over the place. And going through La Covia, that's when we started, well, I guess we stopped talking because it was so bad. You couldn't.
So hurtful seeing.
Yes, it was terrible. A lot of water was in La Covia and it smelled. I guess the water is settled on the road and the tree leaves and something start rot. It smelled.
So how did you feel as a person, or seeing these sort of sites, seeing how they were affected? How did you feel?
Alright, let me tell you. And we went down pretty early, so we didn't see a lot of persons on the road on our way down. So we saw the landscape. It wasn't like Jamaica. It wasn't like you were in Jamaica. It was, these things are what you see on like TV, like what you see. Like we get used to seeing Haiti with these destruction and natural disaster, but it's not Jamaica. Let me tell you, there are some roads that we couldn't make out. We couldn't make out the area. We didn't know where to turn. You know the road, but the entire landscape changed. You used to see these huge guango trees where you're just seeing the thump of the guango tree. I see trees where the bark start to rip off. And it was terrible.
So that's at that point, that's when you really started to feel, say, sorry for those people, or having a little, what word would I say, remorse for them when you see.
Yes,
that,
to
the
be honest,
devastation.
yes. And that's when I started to see that we were scared. Because these areas are not as populated as up back in St. Catherine and Kingston, St. Catherine and Clarendon. If this storm had turned on any of those sides, if it had come through Kingston, through St. Catherine, it would have ripped the place apart. Jamaica would have been, Jamaica would have been. We wouldn't be the same. You'd have deaths like crazy, because when you think about a housing scheme like the Avery's in Old Harbour, where I'm from, Avery, New Harbour 1, 2 and 3, you have a lot of other housing development around the area. And so if every house have 2 persons in there, that's hundreds of thousands. And this time would have destroyed the scheme houses.
So I'm going to ask you a question that I ask everybody else. How do you feel about persons saying that the church should have been closed last Sabbath and we've been out there helping our brothers and our sisters?
No, I don't support that. And let me tell you why. The church needs help, but down there, no need one bag of people just go down for help. There will be a time for that, but it's not that. The church need to rally now and put stuff together, tangible stuff, ship down waters, pampers, females needs, stay-free female products, those things, basic necessities. That's what they need.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Waiting
Elder Billings from the Spring Village Seventh-day Adventist Church. Now, Elder Billings, we know that you'll be heading down there tomorrow. So, how do you feel about going on this venture, and what you have seen on the news and so forth? How you feel about what is taking place?
Well, you understand that Melissa was tragic. Melissa did a whole heap of damage, a whole lot of damages. And first and foremost, from a humanitarian perspective, we have to look out for our brothers. And from a Christian point of view, it is of great importance, because when we look at the devastation and the destruction, we understand that people are in dire need for facilities, food, water, whatever it is, whatever we can possibly donate, whatever we can supply, we are going to definitely have to do it. And we don't have to wait on a group or an organization. Yes, it is good to do things in order and to do it as a group where you have support. But the first thing we have to do is look into ourselves and realize that there is a great need for help. Personally, when I saw the pictures and the videos first, it really touched me to the point where tears came to my eyes and some might have fallen out. But what I was really thinking about is the fact that the West Side has a lot to do with me, because that's where my father is from, St. Elizabeth, Ginger Hill. And when I saw the devastation in St. Elizabeth, it caused me to just want to get up and do something. So I teamed up with a relative of mine and a group from her church and from our church as well, and we decided that, hey, let's hit the road. That's before we were looking towards different groups and organizations coming with their aid.
All right.
So that's what I feel about it.
I'll be asking you the questions that I've asked everybody else. What do you think about the things that persons are saying that the church should have been closed Sabbath after the hurricane and going out into the areas that were affected to help? Because some of them are saying that that's what Jesus would have done. What do you think about that?
Here's my opinion and my perspective as it relates to closing the church. At no point in time should church be closed. To be frank, if it was not for this Category 5 hurricane, churches down in the western region would have been open themselves. No, I agree that we should be supporting, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we have only one day to do the support or to bring aid down to the western region. The truth is that many of us see a greater importance to go to work from Monday to Friday, and then we'd utilize the Sabbath to supply. Now, if we choose to help out on the Sabbath as a group, that's not a problem. But it doesn't mean that church should have been closed. There are different groups and organizations going down on the Sabbath. We could choose to do it on Sunday or any other day in the week. So I am not in support with the view that church should have been closed and all of us just go down there as a group. Not so. We can use any other day to do so. Sabbath is solely for God, and doing good on the Sabbath is recommended, and you would be doing good because people are in need. But does it mean that we can't go any other day? What if we choose to have service on the Sabbath as usual and go down there like Sunday or Monday to Friday? If we can make time on Sabbath, we can find the time to get a sick day or a day off or a vacation out to just do the work of God helping out. So I don't agree with the fact that church should have been closed. And I'm not going against those who decided to go and help out on the Sabbath either.
Thank you very much, Elder Billings, and safe journey down tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys.
So, Brother Martin,
Yes.
we have seen the devastation that the hurricane has done to our country.
Yes.
And as a working member, how do you feel when you see your colleagues, their homes being destroyed, and they have to be out there helping? How do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, let me say that there's no word in the English dictionary to describe how I am feeling or how I feel about the situation. It is more than devastating. I am lost for words. Um, Tuesday, Wednesday rather, I went down to see firsthand of what had taken place. And let me tell you, it feels like you're not in Jamaica when you reach a certain point. I went to St. Anne, I went to Trelawney, I went to Hanover, and I went to St. James. And I almost turned back. The damage down there is beyond words. This hurricane, Melissa, has left a significant mark on our island. It makes the Hurricane Gilbert, for those who know about Gilbert, it makes Gilbert look like child's play. This is a category 5 hurricane. This hurricane creates history in Jamaica. It's the first category 5 hurricane that has passed directly over us. Thank God that although there are damages, if had this hurricane passed through Kingston, then I can safely say that Jamaica will be no more because Kingston is the brain of the country, and God is to be praised. We mourn the loss of those who lost the loved ones. We celebrate, we sympathize with them, and together we can rebuild and to become a better nation. And so far, I think the government are doing their best. We are getting a lot of aid from our Caribbean partners and the world at large. And I'm feeling glad about that. So hopefully, very soon, Jamaica will be getting somewhere. And the although the images will be in our heads for a very long time to come, we wish it our great grandchildren. But I am confident that Jamaica will revive and rebuild. As the songwriter said, we shall rise again.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.